So, one thing that I thought was really cool was we were really fucking anxious to go to this event, to show up in the world, and to do like a normal person thing while healing from complex trauma. Did not know if I was going to be able to do it, and didn't know what kind of preparation to take to make it possible. Here's one thing we did that really fucking helped on the day in terms of preparation. So if you're gonna go somewhere to some sort of event and it's upcoming and you feel the drop of dread and like you want to vomit your insides out every time you remember it's there, and you go into like cold shaky shock or hopelessness and helplessness, and you're like not sure if you can do it or if you should cancel. That's how I was at the beginning of this month. Every time I thought about it, and panic attacks. And Vince recorded a vlog which we've shared, which is his reassurances to the things that I was fearing. So I recorded a vlog of all the things I was afraid of. He recorded one responding to what we'd do if my fears came to light, how we'd respond, showing where we're capable and what situations seemed likely, and like basically reassuring and soothing for these things. Then I rewatched that. I rewatched both of them, but I rewatched his more often until I kind of had it on autopilot, what things he'd said for which concerns. And then every time I got this drop of dread because I remembered the concert was coming up, instead of going, oh, don't think about it, or like shoving it down, I'd go through breathing and grounding and the reassurances that he came up with. And I'd know what I needed to hear to sigh. And when I have like those healing sighs, every time it came up, I'd do that, and I'd have a little bit more sort of belief in what I was saying. And that was probably several times a day. That was recorded on like the concert was on the, so for about like 18 days, probably a few times a day, I would remember it, have anxiety, go through the reassurances and the soothing, sigh, maybe write down in the journal, I just had this panic from this, okay, it'll be okay because I am capable, because I'd like validate the concerns, be like, yes, this is scary, and also we're capable because, and I'd like go through it in a formulaic way until like by the end few days, you know, it was really simple. It was just like, stomach gripped, tense, anxiety, I'm thinking these things, breathe into the tense, gripped feelings, stay in my body, soothe, validate, soothe, reassure. And because every time it came up, I was like laying the foundation for those things. And we have that word stuck in my head, yo. And every time I had the fear, I would come away with a little bit more belief in the reassurances, instead of like stuffing it down and stuffing it down and stuffing it down until the day, and then suddenly being like, holy shit, and having all of that come back up. It was like the opposite. So instead of all the stuffed down fear exploding on the day, it was like all of the work and the reassurance was kind of like structurally supportive. So then on the day when I had the fears in real time, I would go through the reassurances, and they had so much more weight behind them because I'd been repeating them for this amount of time between then and the concert. So then it didn't just feel like empty words or like I was just saying things. It was like I really had the feeling of consistency and comfort from the way we'd repeated the reassurances and the way I'd thought about them inside. And so I'd felt reassured every time building up to that. So that gave us a history of conditioning for the words of reassurance. So when I heard them on the day, instead of having like all the times that fear had slammed into me coming back, I had all the times I'd sighed from reassurance and relief, all the times I'd comforted myself and he'd comforted me leading up to then. So it just gave it this whole like history of conditioning, of reassurance and genuine weighted comfort behind it. So would recommend, if you have an event that you can plan for, that is something I would include in your planning for it. Did help very much.